What's up, everyone? I am Suman, CEO and co-founder of Marco. Marco is an experiences platform that helps companies and teams find best-in-class experiences with super unique hosts, brands, creators. And this is the third episode of Marco Labs, where we talk to the people that are on our platform because their stories are way cooler than mine. And so who we have here today is Alec, who is the founder of Alec's Ice Cream, which is delicious. And I haven't eaten today. I've just literally been eating his ice cream. And so probably get some dietary advice later. But first, dude, I want to kick it over to you and tell us, I'd love for you to share a bit about who you are, how you got into, creating an ice cream company, West Coast guy from who, worked in tech, but now here we are with your ice cream.
Yeah, totally. So my name's Alec. Really happy and excited to be here. And so I started making ice cream back in elementary school. Actually, taught myself how to make ice cream for a class project where we had to make something at home and bring it into class to present. And so, being an ice cream loving kid, I decided, I'm going to teach myself how to make ice cream. So got a little countertop ice cream maker, and just went to work, made some ice cream, brought it into class. People loved it, and just did it as a hobby growing up. And fast forward to after college, um, was shopping in the grocery store and kind of noticing my ice cream options really in going in two different directions. One being the traditional brands that really didn't focus on sustainability, didn't have the cleanest label with ingredients, tasted good, but you don't feel good after. And then the other option was more of the newer brands that were kind of focused more on functionality and health, but really you sacrificed on taste. And so for me, I was like, this isn't really meeting my needs with with either, and I want something that tastes incredible. Like, I'm eating ice cream, I want incredible, delicious
Dude,
ice cream.
you got it.
You
You
know,
deserve it. I think you deserve it.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But then at the same time, I wanted to feel good about the ingredients. I wanted organic, sustainable ingredients, things like that. Things that I cared about, really, with the products I buy. And so I just went back in the kitchen, started working on different recipes, and just making ice cream for friends and family. People really loved it. And eventually we got really lucky and found this small ice cream factory in Sonoma County that we moved into in the beginning of 2020, and just got the production line back up and running, starting to source from local suppliers. So we get our dairy from some pasture raised family farms just 15 minutes away from our factory. So we're just hyper local with our sourcing and trying to find really high quality suppliers. And then launched in November of 2020.
Well, so let's just like first of all, it sounds like what you're into is bribery because you're like, oh, I had a hobby, but I just made ice cream and gave to all my friends. So TBD whether
Yeah.
they were your friends because of you or the ice cream. So I'm not really sure about that.
Yeah.
Sounds suspect, but I mean, you were running back at USC, right? You're not like
Yes.
you don't strike me as someone who's like that guy loves ice cream. So how did like, what? I mean, did you always love ice
Yeah.
cream, or what was the?
I did. I always loved ice cream. I mean, I can think like some extremely strong childhood memories after every basketball game, getting to go to Baskin Robbins for ice cream after the game, and just my family too. Like, we always had ice cream in the house. It was just our dessert of choice. Our freezer was always stocked full of ice cream, and it was just what we would do after dinner. Um, and so there is that part of me that loves ice cream, was just always had it around the house. And food is a big part of my personal life and my family life. um, but then also being an athlete, playing college football, like really being diligent about my nutrition and paying attention to what I'm putting into my body. And so the reason why I did our ice cream the way we made it is like, if I'm going to have ice cream and I want to have dessert, I want to be able to enjoy to the maximum like potential of that moment. If I'm going to have ice cream, I want the real thing. I want real delicious ice cream. And
Yeah.
so that was what inspired me to make this really premium ice cream recipe.
And so when you decided, so you were like, oh, I moved into a factory, right? Did you just quit your
Yeah.
job? Like, was it a moment where you were like, this is
Yeah.
it, I'm doing it, and you just kind of went full bore, or was it, hey, I'm gonna test this out and then experiment and then eased into it?
Yeah, so it was kind of the moving into the factory was a little bit further down the road of that like leaping off the cliff moment of diving in. So I was working at a tech startup. Uh, the startup just was sort of not doing that well, and just to be blunt, put it bluntly. And so I was figuring out what I wanted to do next, and um, I started just experimenting with a bunch of different ideas, both in software and in CPG and food, and just like playing around with just making different products. And I just kind of, it naturally just fell into like, I really enjoy making ice cream. And like you're
Yeah,
saying,
he's
like,
like, dude, I just love ice cream. Did you not hear me the first time?
anybody, you can bring ice cream to anybody and they'll be happy and they'll be
That is
stoked
true.
that you're bringing them some ice cream. And so it was just really fun. And I kind of fell back in love with working in the kitchen and doing making food for people. And um, so I just decided, all right, I'm gonna try this, and then um, spent a while perfecting the recipe and um, figuring out how we're going to make the product. Like, are we going to start an ice cream shop? Are we going to work with a co-packer for them to make it for us? And then we got super lucky and found this factory, and it just allowed us to have so much control over our sourcing and the
Yeah.
suppliers we work with and the quality control. Like, it's myself, my brother, the rest of our really small team on the production line. You know, I'm personally taste testing pints throughout the production process, making sure that they're up to quality, which is a really tough job that I unfortunately
Yeah, I
have
was
the
like,
burden of.
that's got to be sarcasm, right? You're like, I
Yeah,
had
no,
to,
but I actually, we actually are like pulling pints off the line
yeah,
and making sure there's chocolate chips in our mint chip. You know, it's like those kinds of things that you, if we were like shipping this production out to another person, we wouldn't have that kind of control. So
yeah.
and we got really lucky in falling into this
Well,
opportunity.
dude, we're gonna talk about ice cream. Obviously, we're gonna talk about like flavors and all this stuff. But like, I think we should just jump in. So
Yeah,
I've got Alex ice cream in front of me right now, and I'm just gonna read. Do you mind if I just read the back of your ice cream thing? It's a bit long, so
go for it.
whether it's a pick me up, a treat yourself, or a nice cherry on top, there are a million moments they call for ice cream. So we decided to craft the perfect organic treat that complements everything life has to offer. And then it goes on. You talk about Sonoma, Marin County, and I like the last part. In a complicated world, we made things seriously simple. Ice cream should taste great and leave you feeling even better. So for whatever life throws at you, kick back, grab a pan of Alex ice cream, and scoop into bliss. Alex Jaffe found it. Signed by you. So let's see if this is actually good. You know, I know it's good, so it's actually not
Let's
a
see.
test.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty damn good. So let's talk flavors for a second. What are you eating?
Mhm. Love it. I'm actually also eating our honey
Okay,
blueberry
so
lavender.
perfect. So we're on the same page or the same pint, if you
Yeah.
will. Uh,
Yeah.
that was bad. It's a bad joke. We're gonna roll with it. So what? Tell me about how'd you come up with this flavor? What is this flavor? It's pretty unique,
Yeah.
right? It's honey
It is.
blueberry lavender.
Yeah, we're the only company that I've seen doing this specific combination of flavors. And so the way we came up with this flavor is really, it's really not that like, I wish there was some really cool, like, tortured genius moment, but it was really just like, we were thinking about what flavors work really well together, starting with kind of the base flavor. What do we want to do? So lavender was the sort of initial inspiration. We want to make a lavender flavor. Okay, then how can we make lavender really great? When we're thinking about flavors, we have a philosophy of what we want an Alex ice cream flavor to look like and feel like and taste like. What does it sound like?
What does it sound like?
And
Huh. I don't.
it sounds like honey blueberry
I
lavender.
didn't hear
It
it.
sounds like
I
sort
can't hear it,
of
dude.
elevated. It sounds like this elevated, but simple culinary innovation.
I
It's
see
not
the name of it.
throwing
Yeah.
every. Yeah, yeah. Like the actual name.
I
Like
was like,
what
dude,
when I
I
say,
can't hear this ice cream. I swear. But
yeah, the ice cream. We haven't cracked how we can get our ice cream to speak to you, but maybe we'll get there soon. Uh, so, yeah, it's these culinary innovations that are simple and they're simply made,
yeah,
but they're delivering really strong, unique flavors.
yeah,
And so we start with lavender, and then it's okay. How can we make lavender fall into what I just said? And so then we added the honey, which is a pretty common addition to lavender, and then we wanted to just take it to that next level, and adding the blueberry just adds a really nice tartness and acidity that just brightens it up a little bit. And yeah, I
Well,
love this
I love that
combination.
you sound like a som, right? You're the way you describe the ice cream. You're not messing around. Let me
Right.
find a blueberry because they are, and then you. So then a little bit about the locally sourced ingredients, right? So it's indulgent,
Uh-huh.
but it's I mean it's good stuff, right? It's ingredients that are
Mhm.
premium, and I mean they're are they organic or what's kind of the qualification?
Yeah. So all of our ice cream is certified organic, which means all of our ingredients are organic. And so we're working with really high quality suppliers. Um, the dairy being the most important one. I
Totally.
mean, that's the biggest ingredient that we're using, and also um, responsibly raised cows and dairy. That whole production process, when done the right way, it really makes a difference in the quality of milk that we're working with. And it's just going to be you're going to get a better finished product. You're going to get a better ice cream out of it.
Yeah.
And then, working with fair trade sugar suppliers, fair trade chocolate and cocoa, working with real Brazilian coffee for our salted caramel latte, finding these suppliers that are doing things the right way, so that us as a new company just starting out, we're not all the way there with how we want to be sustainable. We have really big goals,
Yeah.
5, 10 years down the line of where we want to be, but we're doing everything we can to get there, to get to that
And
end goal and be the best we can
And what
be.
about these suppliers, right? This Brazilian supplier.
Yeah.
How do you find? How does one find the OG sugar
Yeah,
provider or whatever it is for each type of category of ingredients?
totally. So we're obviously purchasing at a different level than someone shopping in the grocery store at home. So there are companies that supply wholesale level to food manufacturers where we can buy in bulk. Um, and that is better for the supplier, that they're able to sell more product, and we're able to like just purchase at kind of a different level than if we were just purchasing personal, like, home sized bags of sugar.
Yeah.
um, it's just a lot of research and digging, and a lot of taste testing, which isn't always the worst thing. But yeah, just continually searching for the best one that we can find.
Yeah. Well, let's actually. All right. I'm gonna open up another pint, man. What
Yeah,
is
go for
and
it.
so we'll use this one for another prompt. So this is the
But
organic chocolate, right? And so I'd love to hear
yeah,
like what makes your ice cream different, right? I've had a lot of chocolate ice cream, right? So how do you compare yourself to other brands? The Ben and Jerry's versus like the Jenny's. Like, where do you fall? I mean, pretty good, but I feel like I'm on the Food Network.
yeah.
You're like eat something, you're like, oh, pretty good, but it is pretty good.
So I would say where we fall as far as an ice cream goes is we're at that level of a Jenny's, where you're that ultra premium ice cream. Um, and I can get into what makes an ice cream taste like ours or
Yes,
Jenny's,
dude.
where
Let's
you're
get
at
into it. Let's get into the nitty
that
gritty.
level of ice cream. But the one unique thing about us is there are a handful of brands that are at that ultra premium level, but none of them are organic.
Mm.
So we're the only one that also is organic certified, and really guaranteeing that we're working with these sustainable suppliers. Um, so the biggest thing that makes ice cream that ultra premium is the amount of air that you whip into your ice cream. And so when you're making ice cream, you're taking a liquid mixture that you can flavor, and then simultaneously freezing it and whipping air into it. And so if you whip more air into the ice cream, you're going to get a fluffier and kind of cheaper, I guess, tasting
Yeah.
product. Whereas if you put less air into the ice cream, you're going to get that really nice, smooth, creamy texture that you're used to from these ultra premium ice cream brands. Um, and so that's a big thing how we do it. And then also the amount of cream that you use in your
Got
recipe.
it.
If you use more cream, obviously you're going to get a creamier recipe. So, and a creamier ice cream. So those are the two big factors for us. And how we get there. And then on top of that, the way we flavor our ice cream is really, like I said earlier, really simply flavoring something to deliver a really unique and pure direct flavor. So with our chocolate, for example, most companies will just use cocoa powder to flavor their chocolate ice cream, and that kind of leads to kind of a generic tasting chocolate ice cream. A lot of people don't really love store-bought chocolate ice cream because it just doesn't have a super strong chocolate flavor. And so what we do is we take cocoa powder and we use cocoa powder, but then we also take fair trade chocolate and melt it down and turn it into a liquid chocolate that we then add into mix in with our ice cream mix. And so we have both the cocoa powder and the liquid chocolate combining to
Okay.
create this really like double
So I was going to
chocolate
say this
that
is like
that
this is double triple shot. We're not. It's not just chocolate. You should maybe
yeah,
even add that to
it's
the
about as much chocolate as you could throw into ice cream before I don't know.
before
Yeah,
it's just
before
a
you
bar of
like
chocolate.
chocolate.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That, I
Yeah.
mean, you may as well have both, right? Put a piece of chocolate in the double chocolate, and then now we're cooking with
Exactly.
fire.
Right.
That's awesome, man. And so it's interesting. So these are more classic flavors, right? You got the mint chocolate chip. Okay, I've seen that one. Chocolate, honey blueberry lavender. That's kind of a different one. How do you think about like? Well, I view. I mean, you even mentioned it, right? You're a bit of a creator. You wanted to do something, whether it was software or ice cream. Interesting choice.
Yeah.
Option set.
Right.
You chose ice
Classic.
cream.
Classic. You know.
Yeah,
Right.
classic, right? And then, but now you're a creator, right? You're like innovating on new flavors. Kind of like, how do you do that? What's your process?
Mm-hmm. So we're definitely thinking about okay, we have, and it's interesting too because we're not an ice cream shop. So if you're an ice cream shop, you can kind of just throw a bunch of stuff at the wall, make a flavor for a day, see what people think of it.
Yeah,
For us, we're just making ice cream to sell into stores. So we're really thinking hard about okay, we got that one location on the shelf, and we got to make each flavor that we're putting out really go a long way and do well. And so the way we're kind of thinking about it now is really more along the lines of the honey blueberry lavender and salted caramel latte,
yeah,
where there is something very simple and almost classic about them, but they have these unique twists or just a slight innovation where it's different and you've never had that flavor before, but it's something that feels familiar at the same time,
yeah.
and you're just kind of just like, damn, that sounds amazing. I want to try that. You
Wait,
know?
I have a question for you. So this is a live pitch, and so just for the viewers,
Yeah.
you work with us on Marco Experiences. So you do ice cream
Yep.
experiences, right? That's a taste testing. We see the factory, like how do you make ice cream. So what I'm hearing is if you have a store, you can go in and so this is my pitch, Alec. So if you have a store,
Go for
you
it.
can like give the ice cream to people. You can get their feedback, right? That's the benefit of having a store.
Yep.
Could we potentially do a mystery pint with like, hey, let's send people a random pint and get feedback? Is that, and you can say no, that's a terrible idea, but is that something we could do?
Yeah. Um, it's not the worst idea I've ever heard, but I don't know. But I don't know if we're gonna do it.
Dude, we'll think about. We'll
Well,
let it simmer. You know, it's all good.
yeah.
We'll let it simmer.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is a fun thing with Marco being able to see people, especially during COVID, where we haven't been able to do sampling in stores. And one of my favorite things about the Marco experiences is I can actually see people trying the ice cream and seeing people's faces and how they're reacting to the product and getting people's feedback on, oh, I like this flavor. So far, they've liked all the
Yeah,
flavors,
you need a more
but
critical
you
audience,
know,
dude. They're like, ah, this one's the
yeah,
worst.
but no, that part's been a lot of fun, just interacting with people and sharing some ice cream. It's been great.
Dude, let's do one last taste here, and then
Yeah.
this is the mint chocolate chip, right? So you wanna share a little bit about what makes this one special?
Hmm. So mint chocolate chip is my childhood favorite. So a lot of pressure on myself to, we got to make this one into an incredible mint chip. And so the first thing you'll notice is that it's white, it's not green, and that's because we never use any food coloring or food dye. We want it to be all as natural as possible. And so it's a white ice cream. We use peppermint oil to deliver a really nice, crisp peppermint flavor. And then we have these. It's mint chocolate. The flavor name is mint chocolate chip, but the chips we use are really more like chocolate chunks, and they just kind of melt in your mouth when you bite into them. And why we chose to use those ones is
It's
because
super minty, by the way. I
one,
just had it. It's like quite minty. It was good.
yeah, yeah. What the chocolate chips that we use, rather like sometimes when you bite into mint chip ice cream, the chips kind of freeze over and they just get really hard when you bite into them. And I wanted to just have that really nice chocolate, like mouth coating experience when like you're biting into chocolate and it melts in your mouth. And
Yeah.
so we use those, and it just like perfectly complements that crisp mint ice cream. And so you have this like really minty, refreshing flavor, then the bittersweet chocolate, and it's kind of this back and forth that for me, I personally find kind of addicting.
So we are going to do a little segment called Just the Toppings. So we got a quick fire round, asking some fun questions coming at you. All right. So first, where is the weirdest place you've eaten ice cream?
Ooh. I'll have to say either in bed or on a forklift.
On a forklift. Wow. Okay, we'll go with that one. Best
The factory.
Okay, fair enough. The best thing to put in ice cream, pie or cake?
I would say ice cream on pie, but ice cream cake is the winner for me.
That makes sense. That makes sense. What is the most regrettable ingredient that you've put into your ice cream?
Most regrettable ingredient that I've ever put into my ice cream. I can't say I have one yet.
All right, that just means you're
Like,
you're
no
experimental. No regrets, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all part of the game. Let's see. What is the most ice cream you've eaten in a single day?
Oh, single day.
He's like single hour. He's like,
Yeah, right. I'd say probably like 3 pints.
holy crap, 3 full pints. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
If you could have ice cream with anyone, living or deceased, who'd you share a pint with?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Specifically, a pint of ice cream. I guess it would be kind of cool to have ice cream with like, um, let's go Ice Cream Central. Thomas Jefferson kind
Oh,
of brought
wow.
ice cream to the.
Yeah, did they even have ice cream back then? I'm sure they did, but
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had ice cream for like hundreds of years. It's
Really?
pretty crazy.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. And all right, the commercial, we'll show the commercial, but it is epic. Tell us a little bit about the background of this commercial.
Yeah, so the background was just sort of we were making it during COVID and kind of thinking about how social life was just non-existent at a certain point, and just playing on the idea of sometimes you just want to have a date with your ice cream and just have a perfect night in at home. And so
It's a little raunchy, dude. It's a little sexual, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's a little...
well, yeah, I also like that because it just
yeah.
felt like no other ice cream company would do that.
No, it was
And,
edgy.
you know,
it was tasteful. Tasteful,
Yes,
similar to your ice cream.
tastefully done.
Tastefully done from a
Yeah.
tasteful brand. With that, Alec, it has been our pleasure. You can book Alec's experience on Marco Experiences, and you can have you and your company or you and your group of friends do a private ice cream tour with Alec himself, and then get some amazing ice cream shipped to your doorstep. So cheers, everyone. I hope you enjoyed.